Yesterday, we're middle of Kitzur, middle of Siman Gimel, page 24 here in the Art School Kitzurs. But before we move on, we mentioned two things. That one is very time sensitive, very seasonal, also called it. We mentioned that you're not lo selchu b'chukas hagayim. You can't do what the Goyim do. If the Goyim have a certain color shoelace, then you can't wear that shoelace. So Shaila is asked, is one allowed to dress up on Halloween? Is that a problem of lo selchu b'chukas hagayim? So the Paiskim discuss it, and the first question is, where does Halloween come from? And if you trace it back, it actually, believe it or not, does come from ancient Christian and other religious practices, and therefore it definitely would have a stigma to it of going the ways of the Goyim in the way that they are worshiping at some level. Obviously, in most nowadays, when they're dressing up, it's not their kavana, but that shouldn't make a difference. But I did see that if someone is in a scenario that they feel that they need to dress up for whatever reason, the eitzah would be to wear something that could be used as clothing at some form. For example, someone wants to wear, let's say, a baseball jersey. So baseball jersey, there are people, they would be wearing that as, on a regular Sunday afternoon. To wear a baseball cap and things like that would be allowed even within the world of Leiselchu B'chukas Hagayim. Similarly, we learned yesterday that one should not wear two garments at one time. Two garments at one time. So what does that mean? That means you shouldn't put on your jacket and your shirt together. Why? Because it's kasha l'shicha. It makes you forget things. Some want to suggest maybe that's why, we have such issues remembering things. But one of the big shilas is anyone who wears a hat. And who wears a hat, many people, what do? They take their hat, they put their yarmulkah in their hat, and then either whether it's a cap, whether it's a black hat, then they put it on. Seemingly, this would be a problem of wearing two garments at the same time. It's fascinating. They asked Chaim Kanievsky the Shaila. Chaim Kanievsky is an authority on these type of esoteric type of things. And he responded, Harbe ein makvidim. Many are not makvid. Which would seem to lead credence to the minig olam. I don't know how one could do this, but they discussed putting on two shoes at one time. I'm not really sure of the case, how you're getting on two shoes at one time. But the Aruch HaShulchan writes that would not be a problem. Those who wear rubbers on the shoes, that would be another case that they would say it's not a problem. What is interesting is there's a machlekes that the Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Balatani writes, you also should not take off two garments at the same time. Which, if you're having a Erev Shabbos quick mikvah run, might be very relevant. Lamaisa, there are other paiskim that are lenient on the story, and definitely it's not the type of thing that one has to make the kids crazy. Then when they get dressed off and everything is inside each other, so don't blame your laundry habits on halacha. Just to move on for one moment over here, Sif Vav, the Kitzur writes, you can't walk 4 amos or recite a davar shebekdusha, which of course it's going to be any bracha, etc., including Torah, with one's head uncovered. And the Kitzur continues, it says, children on the topic, you have to be margul them, you have to teach them to cover their heads. Why? So they'll have fear of heaven. And the Kitzur over here, uncharacteristic, tells a story. He's a halacha sefer. He says, we find the Gemara by Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. What's the story? The astrologers told the mother of Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Berich ganava yehave. Your son is going to be a ganav. Terrible thing. The mother hears, what am I going to do with my kid? What did she do? Says the Gemara in Shabbos Tav Kuf Nun Vav Amud Beis, Lo yishevakti galui reishei. From that moment, she never allowed his head to be uncovered. Amra lei, and she always told her son, Kasei reishech. Cover your head. And the end of the story is, he certainly wasn't a ganav. He was far from that. And this is where it comes from, that one should definitely be makbid, walking, etc. Moshe's famous chuvas. If one is in an area, a work environment where they can't cover their head, is there a makab to mekel? Over here, I don't think that is a concern. And we'll conclude that the Mishbura writes that there is a maila even to go to sleep with one's head covered, whether that's something that one needs to do or not. Mishbura writes it's a milei de chasidus. It's just important to know that it's something real. Sometimes we belittle, like, I'm going to sleep, what's the difference? Mishbura writes, no, it's a milei de chasidus. You go to sleep in such a manner. I don't know if it's the type of thing one has to start, tying hats and beanies and things on their head. Have a fabulous day.